Today's topic is a little different than I would normally discuss. But sadly, I know of about $250,000 that has been lost to fraud by either clients of mine, friends of mine, family of mine. Uh, Anyone and everyone can get caught up in it. So I felt it was important to go over what I would consider as kind of the 7 or 8 big red flags that you should try and keep top of mind. My name is Michael Petracca, and I'm the owner and operator of HAP Financial Group, and this is your tip of the month. So, first and foremost, I've seen fraud happen to the smartest of individuals, old, young, male, female. It really doesn't make a difference. The people that are trying to commit these frauds are equal opportunists. They don't care. It's simply dollar signs that they're really going after. So, like I mentioned, I want to go over the 8 biggest ones that I see. Now, the first one happened to me personally. So I received a call from PSE&G, who I have an account with for my house. And they said, hey, we didn't get your last payment, and therefore we're going to be shutting off your gas tomorrow. It's a pretty big red flag. They're not normally that drastic. Normally they'll send multiple letters, multiple phone calls, so something seemed a little bit off to me. But what you can always do, if you receive a phone call from one of the companies, even the companies that you do business with, say, I'm in the middle of something right now, I'm gonna have to call you back. And then go on their website and call back their 800 number. So remember, they initiated the call with you. So you can always say, I can't do it right now, hang up and call the 800 number back. 2, if you're on the phone with someone and for whatever reason they say, let me log into your computer, that is always going to be a red flag. I'm not saying you should never do it, but you should probably have a decent relationship with that individual to do so. Because even if they're showing you what they're doing on the screen, you don't know what they're capable of doing behind the scenes. 3, this one comes up a lot, is they call you, they have a little piece of information about you, say, hello, is this Bob Smith at such and such address? And you say, yeah. If you can, I work for PSE&G and I'm trying to confirm who I'm speaking with. Can you just confirm who's your date of birth? Don't ever give out their information. If they are calling you and they want to confirm who you are, ask them to say it to you, especially if they're asking for a social security number or for a date of birth. Again, you hold all the cards, so certainly don't give out that piece of information, but if they want to say it and you can confirm, at least you know that you didn't involuntarily give them what they were really looking for. One that I've seen come up a lot and has had significant financial realities behind it is if they're asking you to take money to a Bitcoin machine. Really doesn't make a difference what the scenario is, whether it's the government or corporations. Almost none of them will use it as a form to process a transaction. So anytime anyone's asking you to take some funds to a Bitcoin machine, just know probably something's wrong. On that note, same thing if someone's asking you to go to the bank. If they're trying to tell you to process a wire or a transfer, really take it in and always remember and try to pause. Just say, all right, that's fine, but let me just call you back. You always want to try and remember, they're going to do a great job trying to convince you it's urgent, you can't get off the phone, none of that. Take your time, and if someone's asking you to go to a bank or go to a Bitcoin machine, probably is a little bit of a red flag. Similar to that reality, if they're saying, don't tell anyone, we can't really discuss this is a personal matter, there's some security breach, don't tell anyone. If anything like that is coming out of their mouth, probably a pretty big red flag. Now, a lot of times where people get caught up on is the scarier of the organization. So for example, the IRS or Social Security. Just know the IRS and Social Security are not going to call you out of the blue. They're 100% going to be doing things by letter, by mail, by snail mail, for this exact reason. Now that is probably the number one fraud that I hear. So please, 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 if anyone's calling you saying they're from the IRS or from Social Security, I've never heard of a situation where they've called. They've always sent an email. I apologize, not an email, but a snail mail. The most important thing I want you to realize is, let's say this does happen to you. Now, in my opinion, probably the number one reason it did is because you're a trusting individual. And why are you a trusting individual? Because that's been the best way to go through life. You know, it'd be kind of miserable if you were not a trusting individual. Yes, you wouldn't be caught up in a situation like this, but to just walk around to be that negative is kind of a sad reality. So I would much more prefer to go through my whole life being a trusted individual. And if every once in a while I get caught up in something like this, so be it, because the alternative is not worthwhile. Now, if you have any concerns or any questions about the topics we discussed, always feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email.